We turn now to Capitol Hill, where there is still no leader in the House after Republicans blocked conservative firebrand Jim Jordan's bid to become the next speaker, at least for now. Jordan could only afford to lose 4 Republicans, but he lost 20 in the final vote. Jordan is the founder of the far-right Freedom Caucus and is a staunch ally of former President Trump, defending his claims that he won the 2020 election. Here's Jordan on the House floor on January 6th, raising doubts about the election.
Americans instinctively know there was something wrong with this election. 80 million Americans, 80 million of our fellow citizens, Republicans and Democrats, have doubts about this election. And 60 million people, 60 million Americans think it was stolen. But Democrats say, no problem, no worries, everything's fine.
Rachel Scott joins us now from Capitol Hill. Rachel, Jordan's refusal to acknowledge the results of the election really seems to be having an impact in this vote. Explain what you're hearing from some Republicans.
Yes, it appears this did cost him votes. So I did talk to Colorado Congressman Ken Buck today. He told me that behind closed doors, he tried to get assurances from Congressman Jim Jordan that he believed that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. But Jordan would never admit that privately behind closed doors or even publicly. We asked him again today, and he did not answer our question. And so Buck told me that for that reason, along with some others, he cannot support Congressman Jim Jordan for Speaker of the House. And he said that's not changing.
So Jordan didn't have the votes today. What happens next? Can he get enough support, or are we back at square one?
I can tell you tonight he's going to be working the phones. He's going to be trying to meet with some of those holdouts. He's even reaching out to other Republicans to help him rally support. But the reality is the more time that passes, the more Republicans he could lose, because some Republicans said that they would only support him on the very first round. So we will see how this all goes down tomorrow. The next vote is tomorrow at 11 a.m., Lindsay.
We'll be watching. Rachel Scott, we know you will be too. Thanks so much. Congressman Jim Jordan's handling of the January 6th insurrection isn't the only issue that could impact his candidacy for Speaker. Former wrestlers from Ohio State University, where Jordan was once the assistant coach, are now speaking out about Jordan's time there, accusing the congressman of failing to protect them from a sexual predator back in the 80s and 90s. One of those former wrestlers, who is also an attorney representing some of the sexual assault victims from Ohio State, Rocky Ratliff, joins us now. Rocky, thank you so much for coming on. To be clear, the abuse allegations of these former wrestlers is against the former team doctor who was on staff at the university, but you're alleging that Jim Jordan, who was an assistant coach at the time, turned a blind eye to these alleged assaults here. Tell us why.
We believe very strongly, especially all the wrestlers that were there at the time, that Jim Jordan knew what was going on. He was the head assistant coach of the wrestling program. And Jim, as well as our head coach, Russ Ellickson, and the administration at OSU, definitely turned a blind eye to what was happening. The abuse, not only from the doctor, but everybody involved in the showers and sauna area of Larkins Hall at that time.
Why do you feel so strongly that he knew?
You know, the accounts of wrestlers who actually told him, the number of guys that would joke and laugh about it because that's the way they dealt with it. The fact that the doctor was around us in our saunas, in our showers, changing with everyone. You would have to know about what is going on. Everybody knew what was going on there at that point in time.
The Speaker of the House would obviously put him second in the succession to becoming President of the United States. Is it your position that Congressman Jordan's alleged failure to take responsibility regarding the alleged assaults is evidence he's not suited for that position?
I think the wrestlers that I represent, not one of us would back him for such a leadership position, seeing how he has abandoned us in our time of need. So I think the sentiment among the wrestling community right now that is locked in this litigation is that he's just not fit for the leadership position that he desires. He's abandoned us for his own selfish reasons. When he could have helped us, he's chosen not to. So that is not the good makings of any type of leadership or any type of leader that he would have put up with at Ohio State. That is just not, none of us wrestlers believe he should get that position.
Do you think Jordan should even be a member of Congress if he knew but failed to acknowledge knowing about this abuse?
That's not for us necessarily to decide. However, I think Jimmy, Coach Jordan, Representative Jordan should come forward and tell the truth about what happened. At least meet with the guys. He's failed to do that, to hear our side. He's failed, even if you believe what Jim Jordan says, he has never once reached out to any wrestler to say, hey, I missed it. I'm sorry. How are you feeling? What we have from Congressman Jordan is him engaging a PR or press firm to go out and cover up everything and say he didn't know, and get wrestlers on his side to say he didn't know. So in actuality, Mr. Jordan has tried to discredit survivors, sexual abuse survivors, and what happened at Ohio State.
You remain part of a lawsuit against OSU over these abuse claims. Is your goal to have Congressman Jordan testify under oath in that case to get his sworn testimony as to what he did or did not know?
Yeah, in due course, we fully expect to subpoena, use the court subpoena power to put him under oath on what he knows and what we believe he knows as to Ohio State's concealment and cover-up of the sexual abuse of our team doctor. And we believe that Jim Jordan is a valuable piece of that evidence, and we await the day to put him under oath so he can answer these questions. So if he doesn't want to do it with us and come out and be clean about what's going on, I guess we will use the court subpoena power to make him.
What do you say to critics, though, who would say that raising this issue now is just a partisan hit job against Congressman Jordan as he vies for a top leadership position?
I don't think that sexual abuse and sexual assault has a party. I don't believe it's partisan in any way, shape, or form. For them to say that is just plainly, it's plain that they're just covering up his knowledge of the abuse, because this issue has more than just partisan ties. It is an American problem that we need to address. So those that don't want to address it are obviously complicit with sexual abusers and molesters in our society. That's a whole nother issue. It's shocking to us that they would stoop to say that this is somehow a partisan issue. We do not want to be here. Let's make that completely clear. We don't want to be here. We don't want to be talking about our former coach. We don't want to be talking about how we were sexually molested or assaulted at The Ohio State University, but that's where we are. We need the truth to come out. We need to protect current students as well as future students. We need to bring the issue of male sexual abuse to the forefront. Society's not willing to deal with male sexual abuse. We've seen that over and over in Boy Scouts of America and the Catholic Church. We need this issue to be addressed, and if it has to be us that is the one that's going to come out and fight, why not a bunch of wrestlers?
Rocky Ratliff, we so appreciate your time, appreciate your insight as well. We should note that Ohio State has admitted that it failed to protect students from Dr. Strauss, paying out $60 million in settlements to some 296 victims. We did reach out to Congressman Jordan's office for a statement, and they replied that, quote, Chairman Jordan never saw or heard of any abuse, and if he had, he would have dealt with it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.